Welcome to Alignment Adventures. This is a podcast where we explore what it means to live a fulfilling, aligning, and present life. I'm your host, Lindsay Tanner, and I am so grateful that you are here. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to another episode of Alignment Adventures. I am so grateful and excited that you are here with me today, and I have another aligning and enlightening conversation with Doinita Ward. Now, I do have to say her energy is just so pure is the word I want to use. Her energy is so calming, and just even listening, like you could just listen to this conversation and not even really take in what she's saying, which I do recommend taking in what she's saying because it's so good. But just something about her energy, it reminds me of Stephen Altair's energy. They're actually friends and work together, which makes sense because their energy is so similar. She is so present in her conversations, and I just want you to pick up on that as you're listening to this. But we cover so many different topics. I've actually started leaving little timestamps in the description. So if you're interested, check out the timestamps in the description below. But we talk about the Akashic Records. She is someone who can interpret the Akashic Records for you or give you an Akashic Record reading. If you're not sure what that is, make sure you tune in, keep listening because she explains that. We talk about the human experience, how we are spirits having a human experience and all the challenges that come with that. We talk about consciousness awakening on this planet and our own personal evolution, how it's not linear, but a spiral, and we just keep going deeper and deeper. And the simple habits that we can take with us to really leverage that evolution. And then lastly, we talk about something called astrocartography, which is so interesting because a friend like super recently messaged me and was like, Lindsay, have you ever heard of astrocartography? And I was like, no, I've never heard of it. It's combining geography and astrology, and it has to do with like obviously your zodiac sign and all of that compared to where you live in the geography of the world. Like it literally gives you a map of the world with all these lines on it. It's kind of overwhelming, but that is also something that Dionita can interpret for you. So with all that, let's go ahead and get into this conversation. I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I did. Dionita, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I'm so excited for this conversation and what's going to flow and what we're going to talk about. But thank you for taking time out of your busy day to come on the podcast and share your message with my audience.
Well, thank you very much, Lindsay, for having me here. It's a pleasure.
I'm honored as well. So we'll start with the usual question. And who is Dionita?
What's coming right now is, this exact question I have been asking myself all my life.
Yes.
All my life till probably, and slowly, my mind got quieter and I started listening because the answer was coming from within.
Yes. Yes.
And, the whispers, the intuition, the gifts, the listening, taking action, allowing, surrendering, letting go. And who am I? I'm a traveler. I'm a seeker. I traveled by sea, I traveled by air, and now I travel by spirit, with spirit. I'm an Akashic Records healer, intuitive spiritual counselor, I'll say life path coach, astrocartographer, mystical astrologer, some like to call me. Just, a bit of everything. I've got I think I'm wearing many hats at sometimes and others, and just loving life. And here, the more I allow, the more I honor, the more, life is good. I'm here to be in service and to honor, to honor myself, to honor all my relations.
I love that answer. Thank you so much for that beautiful answer. And allow is a word I hear a lot from my intuition. So it's interesting that you're bringing that up as well. And I want to pull on so many things that you're doing with the Akashic Records and astrocartography and all of that. But before we get into all those modalities, which I'm so interested to hear more about, I love to ask this question as well because it just kind of is a good lead way into our conversation. But what does living an aligning life mean to you?
I'm smiling because I feel like it's what I just said, and to
Yes.
continue. When I'm going in, I'm closing my eyes or I'm not, but I feel that peace within.
Mhm.
When I feel that excitement to wake up in the morning, when I feel
Yeah.
that joy, just simply breathing and being.
I love that answer because it really is about just being and breathing and finding what lights us up and brings us joy and excitement. And a lot of times I find with myself and people that I talk to, it's just hard for us to get into that space because there's so much external noise around us. It's becoming more difficult for some people to go within, which it sounds like that's what a lot of your work does, is it helps people go within. So let's kind of dive into that. I know one of your main umbrellas is working with the Akashic Records. Now, I've heard this term many times and I have an idea of what it is, but I would love to hear your explanation of what are the Akashic Records and how can they benefit our lives?
Oh. Akashic Records. It's the highest frequency of all, the
Mhm.
frequency of love. So imagine this beautiful library, but it's energetic library. You probably heard that
Yes.
explanation, right? So all that was, all that it is, and all the possibilities for all of us, all the cosmos, universe, or perhaps even universes, everything is stored within
Mm.
energetic library.
Wow.
So, uh, all the possibilities. So is this wisdom, this beautiful frequency, this beautiful, infinite energy, and it is our birth-given right to access our own unique Akashic records.
Mm.
That is so important to listen because it's all that intuition, when you hear the little bird chirping, right? When you go to
Yes.
sleep with a question and you wake up with an answer, that is you simply tapping into your unique Akashic records,
Wow.
the wisdom of your soul, the
Wow.
blueprint.
Mm.
So, people like me, we've been trained to access the records of other people, groups, um, cities, countries, kingdom, animal kingdom, let's say. So, the possibilities are infinite. And I love doing this. It is an honor and a privilege to breathe this frequency and be in this frequency of love, the highest frequency, right?
Yes.
Why people would benefit? Oh,
So much.
imagine so much. Imagine tapping into your soul's wisdom, into your Akashic records for guidance. Let's say
Yeah.
you are at crossroads. Let's say you've got challenges with health, because our innate is wise, your body, let's say you have challenges with your relationships. Let's say you don't have any challenges, but you want more clarity. Could be a big thing, could be a small thing, you're working on a project, could be anything. Just a spiritual path, you're on your spiritual path journey and you want to connect more with your guides, more with your inner
Yes.
light. So all is welcome.
Mm.
All is welcome. The only thing what I always ask my clients is show up, be open and allow.
Mm. I think everyone can do that a little bit more in their day to day. Just be open and allow. It's hard. We want to shut down sometimes to protect ourselves, right? Like that's our defense mechanism, but being open to receiving things is really the beauty of this life. Now, with Akashic Records, we were talking about this beforehand, and this may be misinformation on my part, but does it have to do necessarily with past lives or not necessarily? You were saying that's not necessarily a part of that. I think our minds and our egos maybe want to know, like, what did our soul do in past lives? Or, which time, that's a whole nother subject. Time is probably not as we perceive it. But is that a part of your work, or does that come up in sessions, like what the soul has done in the past, or maybe lessons that they needed to learn in the past, or a lesson in this lifetime?
Yes and no.
Hmm.
You know, what I notice is every time, every session is unique. There
Yes.
is no session that is the same, right? But they always come from the present, in the present. We're always in the present.
Mm,
So if you want to know who you were in the past, like your past lives, almost like look in the mirror and reflect on your life,
mm,
your thought patterns, your relationships, your loops, your thought, your wishes and desires, your lessons, perhaps, on a spiritual level or in this lifetime.
mhm.
I mean, that's when it comes to relax, slow down,
Yeah.
allow, be quiet, right? Pay attention because you're always connected
Mm,
to yourself and to the higher realms, to your guides and beyond, and your ancestors, of course.
yes.
So past lives, of course, they're a big part of it because that's why, that makes you who you are,
Yeah.
you know, past lives in terms of, let's say, your lineage, your ancestors in this lifetime, that, but also past lives as your soul reincarnates to learn, so to have it's like we are souls, we are, light beings, we are, spiritual beings having a human experience.
Mm,
So every reincarnation is another experience that your soul chose to experience, lessons that you're here to learn from past lives to and let go, heal. It's all, there is no beginning, there is no end, it just is.
wow. That saying of we're spiritual beings having a human experience. That's deep, and that's a good one to ponder because we can get so caught up in this human experience. And like you said in the beginning, I'm also a seeker, and I feel like that's one of the things that drives my work. It's just like, why are we here? Why are we doing this? Like, why? And that kind of helps unpack that a little bit of, we came here for specific experiences, and in this lifetime we can kind of use that to guide us. So going back to the Akashic records and all that, can we use that information in the universal library to like kind of help us figure out like why we're here in this time and space? Or I guess maybe the question could be, do you feel like people come here with specific purposes or many purposes probably?
Absolutely, absolutely. There is a yes, my life purpose, your life purpose, and it's also very unique to your
Mm,
soul experience. So there is, from my experience, there is a purpose for your own Akashic record, for your own life path, right?
yeah, yeah,
And there is so many different modalities to kind of dabble into: numerology, human design,
yes.
astrology is a beautiful, beautiful map. Like Vedic astrology and Western astrology, the way I see it, is a beautiful map of seeing the soul, what you came here before you incarnated, what you came here to do, and
Mm,
how you're going to do it. It's all there for us to just be open and
yes,
see.
yes,
And at the same time, we do have, because there is no separation, so we're all one, we're all one.
yeah.
So you think, yes, you do have your own life path, but everything that you choose, say, do, undo, heal, imagine you're doing it for the collective, for the entire everything,
Mm.
raising the frequency, raising the vibration, helping humanity, helping the world, helping all,
Wow.
almost like surrender, let go, embrace, more like not even focusing on that, helping all remember
Yes.
who they are, who we are.
Yes. It's such a beautiful remembering. And that's something I wrestle with all the time because I do believe, we are love at our core and we're all connected. And when you remember that and when you tap into that, it feels so good. But then sometimes it's so easy to forget again or to, get caught up in the human experience again. And a lot of times I just ask myself, like, why? Why do we do this? But I guess we came here for that experience.
That's the human. I'm laughing. Sometimes I laugh with some of my friends. It's like I must have sat there and just like, oh, let me throw myself, this lesson, let me have this experience. And then I came into this body and I was like, oh, what was I thinking?
Mm,
But that's a joke at the same time. Is all of it is necessary. And I'm deeply grateful for all the challenges, all the hardships, perhaps all the lessons in this lifetime,
mm,
everything that I brought from other lifetimes to learn and surrender and let go
mm,
and embody, integrate,
mm,
learn and integrate is necessary. And I'm grateful for everything because as I allow all this to simply be, there is nothing really to do, simply allow, because everything is just happening on its own.
yeah.
Um, we're here right now, very important, because we're here to assist others. It's
Mm,
as I do, as you listen to your inner, as you listen to your guidance, there is no competition, who is ahead of time, who is behind, and there's nothing, it's irrelevant
mm,
because everything happens. It's all about the divine timing, and everything happens as it should, when it should. And, I am honored to assist, to be in service to all the people that come to me for healing, for guidance, and at the same time, I have my teachers and mentors that I still go to. So it's just part of this organic alchemy.
mm,
And you asked before, it's hard sometimes to remember that. I feel that, and I know that, by paying attention to yourselves, to ourselves, because there is a lot of noise out there right now. But by staying true and within and grounded within our body as much as possible,
mm,
grounded within Mother Earth, within our bodies, and within our hearts, and focusing with your energy and always checking in. It's like, is this mine?
mm,
Is this mine?
mm. Because we can pick up stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're energy beings, we're spiritual beings. And, as we are connected, as we are one with everything, absolutely, we're empaths. And right now, we're going through this huge awakening process and remembering, and the Earth is getting so much energy, all these solar flares and such. So we are astrologically as well, is there is a lot of energy happening. There is a lot of shifts and changes happening that
Mm,
is just naturally, it's like a lot of people are waking up, a lot of people are remembering,
mm,
a lot of people are realizing that there is more to it than what we knew.
mm. Such a beautiful time to be in. And I think everyone can agree that there's something going on. I think everyone can feel it. There's something going on, a shift, a major shift. I can feel it on a personal level and a collective level. So just tapping into that. And that's something that really resonates with me as well. Because you can get caught up in that. It can be easy to get caught up in like the perceived problems of the world. But I always feel like it starts with us, right? It starts by going within. And that's like, I almost get the image in my mind of like little flames like lighting up all over the world. And eventually it's going to be enough to like turn the tides and like switch the momentum from the unconscious to the conscious.
Exactly. And remember that all of us as souls,
Mm.
we chose to have these certain experiences.
That's
All
such a beautiful
everything.
way. Yeah, to look at that. Sorry to interrupt you. Uh, Such a beautiful way to look at your life, like the challenges you see, like you chose this lifetime and you chose this set of challenges to overcome. That can be confronting for people.
It was for me too.
Yeah.
it was it was for me too, you know.
Yeah.
And ayahuasca, working with ayahuasca, I don't know if you know plant medicine in
Mm,
Peru,
mhm,
that helped me a lot to, like to, yeah, different modalities, different ways, it just helped a lot. Essential oils, Tibetan deities, all of the modalities, whatever I was drawn to for my
mm,
personal healing, I kept saying yes.
mm,
And that started happening more and more and more and easier once I said yes to myself.
mm, mhm.
You know?
So, is that what people should do if they're like feeling called towards something? Just explore that. It's that
Absolutely.
simple because there are so many modalities. It can almost seem overwhelming. How do people know where to start? Just tune in and follow those nudges.
Follow the heart, you know?
Mm, mhm,
Follow the heart. Because there's also people that, there's so many modalities that, let's say I'm a Gemini. So before I got more aligned with myself, right? It would be the mind, the higher mind, because that's a Gemini air. So it's like, oh, this. So remember, we're going full circles over and over and over again, but
mm,
we're going deeper and deeper and deeper.
mm.
So it's like being really gentle with ourselves, loving with ourselves, patient with ourselves. It's all good. We're learning, just allowing and relaxing and just enjoying the ride. And if you feel drawn to something, explore it.
Yeah.
That's the only way you will know if it's for you or not. Because it's also not about going and getting it's like with books, for example. Sometimes I feel drawn to a book and I will read a few pages or I'll read something and I'm done. I know that I'm done with that.
Hmm.
So it's not about the linear, it's not about what we were conditioned,
Yes.
it's about trusting the moment,
Mm,
trusting yourself, trusting, feeling, allowing.
mm. So many things there, and that I could feel that in my soul. We are so conditioned to do things linearly, and that's not how it works. And it's so funny you said the thing about the book because I've noticed that recently. For some reason, I just pick up book after book after book, and I want to read them all. And recently, I've been reading a little bit and then moving on to the next book, and my mind's like, no, you need to finish that book before you move on to the next one. But that's just human conditioning, right? Like
Yes.
we can just grab what we need to from each book or from each teacher and integrate it how we need it. And I also love what you said about the spiral because I think our minds, again, with that linear path, want to go somewhere and we're trying to constantly get somewhere, but it's this spiral, like you said, of deeper and deeper and deeper. And there's no destination. It's just, you just keep going and you just keep learning and you're just along for the ride. And it truly is about presence, which is, I know, something I try to work on all the time. So I know
Mm-hmm.
a lot of different things I mentioned there, but so resonates with me.
Thank you. Yes, it's yeah, presence is very important. That's when life happens right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like also learning and things. There is nothing, yeah, there is new to the human in us,
Hmm.
to the human in us. All
Yes.
this is new, but we are simply remembering. So if you think about that, we are simply unwinding and or blossoming, remembering who we are at our core.
Mm-hmm.
We're simply remembering who we are. We're letting go. We're just by focusing on the light within and by focusing on that light to bring more light, soul consciousness, your soul energy within, and expanding that light within into every cell. Create, nurturing the relationship with our bodies, because that's the
Yes.
sacred temple for your soul, right?
Hmm.
Nurturing the relationship with yourself, with your inner light, inner wisdom, inner, all the everything with yourself. You will notice that the world around you, the relationships around you will change,
Mm.
you know?
Beautiful. I feel
So,
like that's how a lot of people's journeys start is they start by just like taking care of themselves and then eventually kind of leads into the spiritual journey. I find that so interesting because that's what it always leads back to is like your soul. But like you said, the simple practice of just taking care of yourself, like eating healthy or going to work out, eventually as people like dive deeper and deeper, they get on the spiritual path, which I find so interesting.
because you're allowing, and it's just the soul becomes louder,
Mm-hmm.
the light becomes brighter,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's become more and more magical,
We all
you
need
know?
more magic right now.
Yeah, yeah, well, we have it. We have
Yes.
it. It's already here. It's about, the frequency, just simply, again, I keep saying allowing, because that's what I'm using in my everyday. And
Yeah.
that's what helped me when I was not allowing.
Yeah. How do we allow more? Because that's something I feel nudged to as well. How can we allow more in our life? Because I know some people are going to hear that and say, oh, do I just do nothing? Like that's the mind's interpretation of it. But how do we allow more for our soul?
So there's not like a quick fix,
Yeah.
Phil. It's every day. It's every moment. It's living in presence. And when you're not, come back to the presence. It's like paying attention to what your body feels like. If you feel
Mm,
tired, rest. If you feel like you want to go spend time with family and friends, do it. If you have to do a job that you don't really care about, or you've got no energy, I mean, there is a choice. Take action. There is always a choice.
mhm,
And if it's not immediate, then take small action, take small steps where you can align yourself with the work, with the life that brings you joy.
mhm.
Allowing it's in every breath, allowing yourself to rest if your body feels tired, allowing yourself to go for a walk,
Mm.
allowing yourself to have that ice cream that your body is craving and
Yes.
your mind is saying no, you know?
Yes.
It's just simple things. And then as you practice, as you being present with yourself, with your body, as you listen, as you slow down, and also seeing others. For example, if someone is reacting and is upset, don't take it personal, because it's not about you.
Mm, mhm,
Showing compassion
mm,
in situations when perhaps that's the last thing you probably want to do,
mhm,
or at least just open the space for healing, for just allow.
mm. Beautiful, beautiful reminders.
I hope
I feel
that's
like that is like the biggest spiritual test is like when you're triggered by someone and going within and being like, how can I approach this situation with love and compassion? So,
well, but there is also practical ways to actually help the body
Mm.
to 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 make it easier,
Yeah.
as it's very important, as we are being spiritual beings, right? We also pick up also all these entanglements and energies and such. So practicing, cleansing your body, your energy
Mm.
body on a daily basis, practicing, grounding, practicing mindfulness living, just, let's say, take a salt bath
Mm.
with, you know, Himalayan pink salt or table salt. That's powerful cleanser, right?
Mm.
Plus the water, connecting to the trees, connecting to grounding, walking bare feet.
Mm.
It's just like things that are inhaling essential oils, for example,
Yeah.
because the plant's wisdom. So there's so many different modalities to assist, which you can do it on a daily basis, small steps, because that's keeping your body purified, cleansed energetically. It helps to not react as
Mm.
much. It helps, disentangle from the dirty energies,
Yes.
you know.
Always comes back to the small steps, doesn't it?
Yes. Yes, because that's it builds up, it's the same with any building or any castles or anything, right? Everything, it's like brick by brick, nail by nail, what, is just to create
Yeah.
something. So that's, like practical tools, is even medically, right? Let's say I lymphatic system, for example, our lymphatic system is our natural, right? The body's natural ability to detoxify, right?
Yeah.
At the same time, if you have a sluggish lymphatic system, your thoughts, because that's also energy. So
Mm.
people tend to become more negative, like
Mm.
negative thinking, pessimistic, depressive, fogginess, foggy mind. So it's not just physically detoxifying, but it's also energetically.
Yes.
So you take care of your sacred vessel as much, as we just tune into what it needs, because we're all different as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, it's like herbs, teas, walks. It's like I'm coming back to the body, right?
Yes.
It's so important, because
Yes.
this is important. I mean, this is our castle for the soul.
Totally. And I think a lot of people disconnect from their body, through experiences or traumas or whatever. They don't want to be in their body. And that is like the source of everything. That's a huge part of your spiritual practice. That's how you connect to your intuition, your soul is through the body. So that's something I've been trying to do in the morning. My morning routines can be a little chaotic now with a baby, but that is one thing I try to prioritize is just being in my body for a few moments, like just checking in, like scanning. And I'm like, okay, is there any tightness or heaviness that I feel in my body? And just try to start with a clean slate if I can.
Yes, doesn't need to be a huge, people meditate for hours and hours. I have 8 cats, 2 dogs, and a busy life, I don't have the time for that. But what I do
Yes.
have the time is like in the morning, absolutely, before you even get up, just before you even wait, open your eyes, spend, I don't know, a minute, 30 seconds, whatever you can and allow, and whatever you are allowed by by the external, by family.
Yes.
Simply just feel like the same. Tune in, come into your body,
Mhm.
breathe into every cell of your body. Almost like tell yourself good morning first.
Mhm.
Connect to your heart and almost like feel the winds within your body
Mm.
coming to life in a way. And during the day, check in with yourself. You can just do it on a regular basis. The breath is the breath of life.
Mm.
And let's say you're at work and something is very stressful. and you feel tense, you know, find a moment to get out, because you can easily get back into the calmness by simply focusing on the breath. And you probably know this breathing, you know, in through your nose, like let's say on a count to 3 or 4, and out
Mhm.
slow on a count to 6 or 7. Whatever you know, it's comfortable for you. Inhale slow,
Mhm.
exhale even slower through your mouth. And if you
Mhm.
have an essential oil, even better.
Mhm.
And you do it, I don't know, do it till you feel calm. You know, do it 4, 5, 8, 10 times. And that's,
Mhm.
it's like that's a natural way of activating the parasympathetic nerve of rest and repair.
Mhm.
It's so simple.
So simple. And it just boggles me that like when we're in fight or flight or like stressed out, that's like the first thing we forget to do is breathe. Like I'm gonna get it tattooed somewhere. Like I see it all the time and I'm like, okay, yes, just breathe.
Just take a deep breath,
Yes.
you know. Yeah, that's why, you know, getting in a habit of breathing. And if you like essential oils, if you like anything, you know, it's like I love essential oils. I work with them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something I have them as the desk whenever I'm reading, you know, I'm inhaling something.
Mm,
And it's just so beautifully coming to center, right? Coming into your body.
me too. I really, really enjoy those. So that's a good reminder as well. Now,
Mm.
I want to respect your time, and I have a few more things I want to ask you about. Specifically, this is so interesting because my friend was just telling me about something called astrocartography. I'm saying that correctly, right? Okay.
Yes.
And that's like something I never heard of before. And it's interesting because I'm right now in this time and space getting into astrology. Before I wasn't really, I don't know, it just didn't, I don't think I was in the right state of mind for it to resonate with me. But recently I've really been getting into that. And my friend was like, did you know there's something that connects astrology to your geography? And I know that's a modality that you work with. So if you could explain that to us and how we can use that in our lives, that would be so useful, I'm sure, for so many people.
Absolutely. I love astrocartography. I myself, you know, I only started learning astrology, ooh, I don't know, about a year and a half ago. And I love it, you know, but it's so interesting because we're all unique, right? And
Mhm.
as we were studying Vedic, Western, Tibetan, Egyptian, that like I'm just absorbing it
Yes.
in my unique way, being, you know, having being an Akashic Records healer and such. And then when we were introduced to astrocartography, my heart just went, yes, I love that. Because that's the way I see it. It's not just necessarily geography and such, but it's also soul, planetary soul connection to, you know, soul connecting to the planets, to the earth too. So, you know, it's so beautiful and it's so interesting to actually explore that.
Mhm.
Like, so to explore, you'll need the same information as you would to get your astrological chart, right?
Yeah.
However, when seeing where you're born, and let's say I was born in Chisinau, Moldova, Europe.
Mm.
So at the time of the birth, you know, I was born at the crossing of Sun and Pluto.
Mm.
So those particular energies of Sun, you know, and Pluto, constant change, are within my blueprint through the entire lifetime. No matter where no matter where I go, no matter where I live, those frequencies, those energies are within me all the time.
Mm.
So also, let's say I live in Florida at the moment, and at the time when we moved here, I knew about it, but I wasn't called to explore it. Looking back now, that was also divine timing because I was meant to experience my 4 years in Florida
Mhm.
on a Mars line.
Mm.
Quite, you know, let's say fast growth, right? Fast growth, intense challenge, challenging but good.
Mm.
Deep diving, you know. I'm laughing because it's like now it's like it's good. At the time, I was like the moments where it was like, oh my gosh.
So Florida was on your Mars line then? Is that
It
how
is,
that
it is
went?
on my Mars
Okay.
and I see line, so it's quite a lot of turbulence.
Oh, wow.
So right now, with this awareness, we're looking at moving again, right? So I am listening to the guidance and I am looking at places where the planetary, right now, Venus has been calling me, So I'm looking at points and states within US that planetary is really beneficial for me, you know, for my growth, for my quality of life. You can choose.
Hmm.
And it is amazing because you will travel, for example, and you land in, let's say, I don't know, Ohio, and you feel fantastic there. And suddenly, checking your astrocartography, you are on a sun line, an ascendant. So that's a beautiful, and you would never thought that you would feel good. So
Mm.
you go to a place where you think you would love it, and there is something within you that is like, no, there is no, it's like we feel, we're smart. I mean, we know, like we're guided. It's like, go where you feel good, but also check the
Yes.
astrocartography, because if you want, let's say, if you want business, or you want peaceful home, or you want happiness, or you want, harmony, consulting astrology and also this astrocartography, it is so 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 helpful and beneficial, because it just and also with the couples, let's say you've got a family, you've got your husband and you've got your child, right?
Yes.
And doing the synergy chart where it is
Mm.
good for all of you. You might have
Mm.
different planetary aspects in
Mm.
certain state and certain area, right? But it gives you options, and it gives you, like, coming to a place where it's like, this is the place where it feels good.
Mm.
Because yeah, consulting the the planets is great, but you also have to feel it. You have to
I think
listen to your
that's
soul's guidance, because mind might be this, but the soul might want something else.
totally. I mean, I think that's just such a good thing to realize. Obviously we're energetic beings, but the places we go have energies as well. And just tapping into those and realizing that. And I know so many people probably feel that where they're at right now. They're like, where I live does not make me feel good. And it's just a good reminder that you can pick up and move, even if it's just traveling. Like, get out there and experience the different energies, because that's going to affect your soul and your evolution. I know when I moved here to Phoenix 6 years ago, when I think about who I was then and who I am now, just like you said with your move to Florida, I've grown so much. It's just insane. And I must have needed to be here at this time and space. But I did look up, because my friend sent me the link, and you like type in all your information, and it was a lot of information on the map. So I'm sure people, once they like look up their astrocartography, they're like, what does this even mean? So is that something they can work with you and like kind of dive in and dissect what all these different lines mean?
Yes, yes, yes. Exactly. I love doing. Yes, absolutely. That's one of
Amazing.
the offering on my website as well. And you can even explore Akashic Records with astrocartography and astrology, because I'm into astrology as well. And right now I started dabbling into human design as well.
Mm, mm,
So I'm kind of bringing all these different flavors to, you know, to explore who you are, who I am, and who they are, because it's just,
mm.
all these are beautiful tools,
Yes.
to and it's like aha moments, it's like, oh, that's why I was like this, oh, that's why I was like that, all these
Hmm.
beautiful tools, for example, they make the mind happy.
Yes.
So can align with your soul energy,
Yes, I love that. I heard something the other day. It said tools, not rules. So I really resonated with that, because you'll hear some of the stuff, and some of it resonates with you so deeply, and some may not, and that's okay. It's just like a guiding path along the way. But this is a good lead in to what are some ways that people can work with you, or if they want to connect with you, if they're listening to this and they're like, yes, I need to dive into my Akashic records, how can they connect with you and work with you in the future?
Well, I've got my website, doinitaward.com. They can find me on Insight Timer. I have
Mm,
some meditations there, not many, just a few. Life got busy and I got sidetracked. We're creating a course with my astrology teacher, and he's a friend as well. Yeah, the website would be the best. Facebook as well, Doinita Ward. That's my name, so you can find me through that as well. I'm there, but really, I'm a little bit of a hermit coming out of my the Hobbit hat. But yeah, just the website and the email donitaword@gmail.com, or come to Florida and come to Northport, Florida.
sounds good to me. I'm sure a lot of people, especially during the winter, would be like, okay. But yes, of
I
course, I
know.
will link all of that in the show notes so people can
Um,
connect with you.
yeah, I don't have many, just to link and stuff. But what I wanted to actually quickly add about astrocartography is, even if you're not planning on moving,
Mm,
actually exploring the energies and the planetary aspects of where you are and where
mhm.
you're born, and also your husband or partner, because there
Yeah.
is also this synergy of energies, planetary energies, that you bring to each other's relationship without even
Mhm.
realizing.
Mm,
Lessons, karmic lessons, and tools, because that was all downloaded to me after I started dabbling into the, exploring astrocartography. So there is ways that you can actually benefit and make your existing life much more rich, like more grounded.
mm,
So tools, ways to actually benefit from these planetary aspects to to expand your, let's say your business, your family life, tools to make it better, to
mm.
align with your highest and greatest, to make your life good, better.
So much there, so much to uncover, and it sounds so interesting. And anyone listening, if that feels like a nudge to you, I encourage you to follow that nudge. So thank you so much for sharing that. I just have two questions left, and they're just kind of fun questions. Something I like to ask people is, what is one of your favorite alignment activities right now in this time and space? Something that you love doing that you just kind of forget that time is passing.
To be honest, exploring exactly what I've been doing, astrology, human
Mm,
design, and, through the Akashic Records, literally opening myself more and more and more, and connecting the dots of all these different modalities and tools as one.
yes.
Yet, walking my dogs, that's when I also get that,
Mm,
into the in Florida jungle, that's when I get all those,
yes.
bubble bursts, sparks.
I love getting those. It's so exciting. And I
Mm-hmm.
just love hearing what people are doing, like for fun, basically. And I just find that so interesting to see like what people's favorite activities are.
You see, in the past, it's like I used to sail on boats and, be on boats. So I used to travel all over the world. So I did a lot of that for fun. And right now I enjoy going within and going into
Traveling within.
cosmos. Yes, traveling within and traveling into cosmos and exploring astrological maps. And it's just, yeah, I lose track of time.
Mm, so cool. So cool. Well, my last question for you is, what is just one piece of advice you'd give to anyone just starting on this journey? If you had to give one piece of advice, which is hard.
That would be actually quite simple.
Mm,
Trust yourself.
mm,
Believe in yourself. Trust and believe. Really believe in yourself, because that's the only person that needs to believe in you.
mm.
You. No matter what, no matter how, believe in yourself. Be gentle, be loving, and trust yourself. Start with that.
Mm,
Just be there for you.
I needed that. I feel like you're talking directly to me.
Oh,
I love that. It's so true. Like, just trust yourself. So many times you get those downloads and then you're like, no, that's crazy. Like, trust what you are receiving from your soul.
Mhm.
Donita, thank you so much for taking time and space to come on the podcast. You have such beautiful energy. So I'm really excited to share this with my audience. And I know this is going to be useful for so many people. So thank you so much.
Thank you so very much for having me here and allowing me to share. Thank you.
Donita, again, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. That was such a beautiful conversation. If you want to connect with Donita and take her up on any of her services, just go to her website, donitaward.com. I will link that in the show notes, but it is DOINITAWARD.com. So make sure you check that out if that feels aligning to you. Like we said, there's so many modalities and options out there. It can be very overwhelming to the soul to know which direction to go, but really tune into your internal guidance, your intuition, and follow those nudges and see what magic unfolds. Just like Donita said, magic is everywhere all around us. We just have to tune in. Please share any takeaways you have with me. I'm still not on Instagram, but you can email me at hello@lindsay.tanner.com. I will link that as well. And as always, please share this episode with anyone that you think needs to hear this message or could benefit from this message. I so appreciate you guys sharing this by word of mouth. That is the most powerful thing. I am so grateful for people sharing this by word of mouth because I think that is the most powerful way to share this message. And I feel like I'm going back to like old school ways of like, I've got business cards for the podcast because I'm like, I don't want to go back to social media, even though I know I will. That's a whole nother episode that I'm recording. But I just appreciate you sharing the podcast. And please subscribe if you're new here. We have new episodes every week. We've been doing 2 a week for the past few weeks. And we always talk about what it means to live an aligning, fulfilling present life. I love you all so much. I'm sending you all the highest of vibes, and I will see you on the next episode of Alignment Adventures.